Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good day. I know we have a mix of people here. Welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you here, and we're super excited for what we have in store for you today. My name is Tife, and I lead the growth team here at Zim. With me today, I have Mr. Nnamdi Ihenacho, our very guest. We're going to be having awesome conversation today. Hi, Mr. Nandi.
Hello, how's everyone
Hi.
doing?
So, if you can hear us, kindly just say hi, hello, so we know that you can hear us. Kindly drop hello or hi in the comment section, so we're very sure that you can hear us as we're speaking. All right, so I'll just give like a few seconds for that to happen. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I can see that people are already dropping that you can hear us. Perfect, perfect. All right, so I'm going to be taking the floor first and just introducing Zim to you because I know a number of you are already like part of our community and they are already like benefiting, but some people are new here and we just want to run you through what we do, who we are, how you can benefit from building a relationship with us. So I'll quickly do that. And once I'm done, Mr. Nadi and I will just take the floor to have the discussion that you're here for. Just to know what life is like from Nigeria to the USA and in UNCW and all of that. All right, thank you, Mr. Nadi. Okay, guys, so straight to it. What is Zim? Who is Zim? What are you people about? What do you do? So, um, we're a platform that connects individuals to schools globally. So if you're looking to travel abroad, you want to start your master's degree abroad, you don't know where to start from, you don't know how to even go about it, you don't know what pathway to go, we are here for you. That's why we're here. We help connect you, we guide you through every step of the process and ensure that it is as seamless as possible for you. We guide you through from everything from like selecting the right program for you depending on what you studied at your BSc level to helping you with funding when it comes to like getting a student loan, walking you through the process of what paying a school fees will look like, if taking a loan will be the best for you, or if you can actually you know go and ahead and pay your school fees in bits, all of that. Then once we walk you through all of that, you secure admission, we then walk you through everything you need for your visa application process, everything from documentation. We coach you. We ensure that there is no stone unturned when it comes to the application process from point A to point Z. Every single thing that needs to be done, we're there for you. We provide you every single coaching and guidance every single step of the way, and we just ensure that you are not stressed in the process, because a lot of people think about getting a master's degree, they think about it, and what comes to their mind is stress, frustration, but like we ensure we take the stress out of it, so for you it's a very seamless experience. So how are we different from other platforms? You're hearing Zoom, your mind, you're like, I've heard one other place that sounds a whole lot like you guys or do something like you guys. We build or we have a personal relationship with the schools that we partner with. So it's not just about saying, oh, success or Adeniji, bring your documents and just apply for you. We follow up with these schools, we have a relationship with them. So things that you would normally not be privy to, you wouldn't know what went wrong or at what point there are certain things are supposed to be done. Because we have this one-on-one relationship with the schools, we are able to follow up and then correct things as fast as possible. And I should add, these schools are very transparent in the way they go about their application process. No partiality or no favoritism is being played here, but just because we have a relationship with these schools, we leverage the relationship to make sure that you benefit from it as much as possible. So who do we serve? Who is this platform for? It is for Nigerians and people in other African countries. We presently serve Nigerians, Ghanaians, and Kenyans. So if you're in these countries, we can serve you. We can help you in trying to secure a master's degree abroad. So where are our partner schools? Where are these schools? We have schools in the US, we have schools in Canada, and we have schools in UK. But today we are focusing on a fantastic school in the US. Actually one of my favorite. That's UNCW, and you get to hear a whole lot about them very soon. So if you're thinking, all right, I get you guys, but I don't fully understand what your process is like. So let me break it down. When you come or when you sign up on our platform, which I'm going to leave the link on the screen, as you can see. So zim.co, you go to our website, you sign up. What happens is that within 24 to 48 hours, we have someone call you. So the person would call you, but as soon as you sign up, you're going to receive an email from us with an ebook. So you can go through the ebook, see schools available and courses available, and all. So the person will call you and pretty much have your consultation, your first consultation. We call it the first consultation. So during this call, we get to find out everything that we need to know about you, what your academic history is like, your transcript, how strong it is, your CGPA, if you have traveled abroad, things that will just necessarily affect what you're going to do. Or if you want to study a course where we believe is best for you based on your budget. We explain payments to you, we explain the loan system to you. We just do all of the breakdown so that you are fully informed about the next step you are about to take. So right after that, we get you into the moment you understand that and you're ready to go ahead, you sign an agreement with us, and then we start telling you, okay, you know what, you need to get this document, get this document in place. Here is how you start to apply. And the moment you begin your application, we have already started conversations with the school to say, hey, you know what, Amaka is coming, Amaka is from us, this person, just start that conversation. After we have gotten to that, you have started your application, you have completed your application. If you are going to take the loan with our loan partner, we also walk you through that process. What you need, these are the documents you need. Provide the document. This is how you go about it. This is how much you need to have. All of that, so that you you don't delay as you don't delay at any point, and you can go through this process as fast as possible in order for you to get your admission as fast as possible, because we all understand how the visa system can be. Like, you can't predict the day that they will give you, so we just want to make sure that everything that needs to be done before then is done. And after that, the moment you secure your admission, we have a fantastic visa coach on board. If you want to know more about that, on our YouTube channel, you can go and check the webinar that we had with him, where he just discussed visa application processes, types of visa, if you have a dependent, all of that. We discussed that fully, so you can always go to our YouTube channel to check that. And so he comes on board and pretty much coaches you through everything you need to have. If you say, oh, I'm a single mom, I have 2 kids, whatever your peculiar situation is, which is why for us here at Zima, we always say we are very big on intentionality. So he walks you through what you would need based off of your specific circumstance, and the best decisions you can make or you should make based off of your specific circumstance. Because we know that getting a US visa is not that easy. So everything that you need to do right, he ensures that he walks you through all of that. The moment you get your visa interview, and hopefully pass and get your visa approved, we will then hand you over to UNCW, a fantastic school with a great program, all of that, and they integrate you into the system. They have a great community, all of that. So it's really not that hard. It's really easy. It's really simple. As long as you give us your time, you respond on time when we reach out to you, you would have a fantastic experience with us. All right, so now that you have an understanding of them, I just want to say, if you have questions, please, I encourage you to ask all your questions. Just drop it in the comments. Somebody on the team is going to be taking note of all of your questions. And the moment Mr. Nnamdi and I are done speaking, we will take our time to respond to you. Like we created this, so we take our time to respond to you and clarify everything that you have on your mind. All right, so I'm just going to speak a little bit about UNCW, so you have an idea what the school is about, how fantastic they are, and then Mr. Nnamdi will come and we'll just have a quick conversation about his experience at UNCW. So UNCW is located at the East Coast side, very close to the beach, lovely chill lifestyle, and they have it's a big school, but they maintain a small school feel, so you don't feel overwhelmed or feel like you're in a place where you're not being paid attention to. So, like us, they're very intentional about your growth. They're very intentional about your career. They're very intentional about the fact that you come into their school and then you leave productive. You leave and you are able to build your career and build something for yourself. So, they have a great community for international students. They have Nigerians who have studied here, just like Mr. Nnamdi, who's an alumni and will be speaking, and so many other people. So, you wouldn't feel too far away from home while you're there. They do have their requirements stated here. So here's the requirement. If you're interested in UNCW, you need to have a 3.0 CGPA. And the great part about it here is that they don't need, it's supposed to be no evaluated transcript. So they don't need your evaluated transcript. They don't need you to have to go and do a West evaluation, except, and I need to put this here, except you have an HND degree and you're interested in UNCW and you meet the CGPA requirement, so you have to do an evaluation because you have an HND, so it converts it to the BSc standard in the US. But if you're not an HND holder, you have your normal BSc transcript, you don't need to do an evaluation. So that was an error there. No evaluation, just your transcript as it is. You submit it up until you secure your admission, and then when you're in school, you can then submit the evaluated transcript. Also, no test of English is required, so you don't need to run around looking for how you write IELTS or whatever. No problem at all. They don't require test of English, GMAT, GRE, other tests. None of it. Okay, so you can see that they're pretty chill school. They're not asking for too much. They really aren't asking. So here, you need to have up to 1.5 million. So what does this 1.5 million naira cover? It's pretty much what you will need in your entire process, from application fee and your visa interview, all of that. We are just like, you would need to have at least 1.5 million saved up for you to be able to start your application up until you secure your admission. Then you need to have a valid passport. So a passport that has over 6 months validity. You still has over 6 months before it expires. Please have a valid passport. So application, UNCW takes presently they have 2 applications ongoing. So they have for fall 2025 and for spring 2025. So fall 2025 is August, September. Spring 2025 is January, which is the one that we're even excited that you guys should hop on. And I should also mention, aside these courses that are stated here for that, as you can see, highlighted spring intake, they have a ton of other courses if you're interested in the fall application. So please register so that you can speak to a consultant and then they give you the options that are available, because they do have a lot of courses covering both health, tech, arts, and other spaces. So, but for spring, which is January 2025, these are the courses available. So if you're interested in computer science and information system, their application is presently open and you need to hurry up before it closes so you can start your application and secure admission. The business analytics course also, it is a STEM course. So it's not just, it's not a non-STEM course, it's a STEM course, data science, finance and investment management. So these 4 courses, if you are interested, you want to travel and study in the US come January 2025, you should hop on this. So register with us and make us, let us have the consultation with you and let us know that you're interested in January 2025 courses so that we can start up immediately. So I need to mention some interesting things here about UNCW. One, you don't need to pay your school fees before you resume. So I know sometimes you see the school fees and the price is like, you start saying $40,000, $something. Don't worry, don't let it scare you. You don't need to pay $40,000 or $25,000 before you resume school. What you need to do is to secure your admission, have enough money for your application process, and then to travel abroad. You can start paying your school fees once you resume classes. Okay, and then there's a structure for you to pay school fees where it's not as if you pay everything at the bulk. So there's a lot of paying per course and all of that. Like I said, register with us so a consultant can speak with you and walk you through all of that process. So don't be afraid to take this step. Don't let it overwhelm you. There's a flexible plan. And for UNCW, just like a lot of other schools, when you come on board, they make you aware of other opportunities that are there for you in terms of financial support and scholarships that they have within the school. So don't let it overwhelm you. Like I said, take the step. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for UNCW. I'm going to bring Mr. Nnamdi up. So if you have questions, please drop your questions in the comment section. Once Mr. Nnamdi and I are done discussing and covering his experience at UNCW, we will get to your questions, and he and I will take our time to really answer as much as your questions as possible. All right. Okay. Hi, Mr. Nnamdi. Welcome.
All right, can you hear me now? I was on mute the whole time. Hello, Tifa. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's going
Uh,
pretty good. So I
awesome.
guess you can like, pretty much just introduce yourself, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do now, and yeah. After that, I'll just like start with the conversation.
All right.
You know.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm glad to be here to share my experience. My name's Nnamdi Ihenacho for full context. I right now I reside in Atlanta, Georgia, and I currently I work as a database engineer, but I also run my own company, and Star Technologies. We offer career training programs to mostly African immigrants here who are looking to get into tech. And I also lead a nonprofit that works with African immigrant professionals to just help us build an ecosystem to thrive and do well here in the US. So that's what I'm doing. I'm married, have three daughters, 4, 6, and 8. I've been married for 10 years actually,
Wow.
about to be 11. So yes, and so that's a quick summary of my who I am. And in terms of UNC, I did go to UNC Wilmington spring of 2010. That was when I got admission. I actually that was what took me or brought me to the US. So I arrived January 6th was my that was the day I arrived in the US. That was the day I also started school. So I went from the airport to campus at Wilmington, North Carolina. First time I then left the country. So it was a big shock, but I'm truly grateful for my time there. I was there. I did the master's in computer science and information systems program. That was the only one that they had at the time. They didn't have the data science and data analysis that they have now. So they've expanded since I left. I was there January 2010 through to May 2012. So I actually had my graduation. I worked in December of 2012, and um, but sometime in July, I moved to Atlanta, and it's been home since then. So there's a lot of I'm open to sharing or answering any questions you might have, but I'm I'm excited. But yeah, UNC Wilmington was great.
Oh, great! Great to hear that it was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we love to hear. Somebody who is excited about where they went to and can actually testify that this school is
yeah.
fantastic and you should come. So pretty much, can you just like tell us about your journey from Nigeria to the US? What motivated you? What made you take that step? What made you decide that you know what I want to get start a masters in the US, and why did you pick UNCW? So, and why did you choose the course that you chose as well?
So I think it's like most people, you know how you're going through school in Nigeria and then you get to a point and you realize this is not enough. And I think that was it for me. So I went to Covenant University. I was in the second set. So we have this our Sideways internship. I did mine at NIT Port Harcourt, and I was there for 6 months. And Covenant was very intentional about equipping us with being top class in terms of technology and everything. And so I studied computer engineering in Covenant. But during that 6 months of doing SciWorks in at NIT, that was the first time I got to see the job market and what it looked like. And I realized this this degree is not enough. So I came back to school with that intention that I needed something more. So I graduated in 2008. My BA, bachelor's in engineering, and that was on my mind leaving. Like I want to go. I didn't know where I wanted to go, but I just knew I wanted more. And then served in Plateau States, and so I started studying for GRE. I was favored. I got a ministry. There was long story. I won't even go into that. but I got a good place that gave me access to internet, and so I used that to study for GRE, and I was applying like crazy. Um, Connected with a cousin who was living in North Carolina then. I wanted to go to FSU. I had like other schools in mind. Then Duke University was another target. I didn't know about UNC Wilmington, but he was like, "Hey, there's this school here as well. While we apply to other schools, you can also try this one out." And so he applied, and because he was in Leland, was an hour away from Wilmington, he could go in and actually talk to people face to face. So that's, I feel like he rigged the he rigged the process. He put more energy to UNC Wilmington, and so I got the admission. Um, and this program, I liked it because it was a blend of computer science and information systems. Computer engineering is different. We are more, without going into technicalities, we're more builders. We're not necessarily developers. This brought that development, but also the business side to the program, and I wanted to get that experience, and so it worked out well. I got the admission, and um, the between my admission and getting my visa, and I'm so glad. I wish I had a Zoom when I was going through this, because you people would have saved me a lot of bad decisions. But again, I'm grateful for the help I had. And between it was a rushed thing, but it worked out. I was able to secure my visa on time. And again, things are different now. Then you could, in 2 weeks, you could get an appointment in a month, and you have your appointment secured. I don't think you can do that now. I was able to get appointments literally December 31st. I got my visa December 31st of 2009, and I was back in Lagos on the 4th to pick up my passport. I was in the airplane on the 5th. On the 6th, I was arriving Wilmington, and that's the story.
Great, great, interesting. I'm very sure people can relate to where you were, because some of them are like they are there right now.
Yeah.
And it's great to hear that you have shared that having Zim would really help. So what were the like culture shocks that you received or you had when you started school, particularly with the change in academic environment? Schooling in Nigeria is very different from schooling in the US, grading system, things like that. Just culture shock generally. So how was that for you?
So USC is different now, because they become more intentional about diversity. Their chancellor now is an Indian, I believe. I know when I first got there, it was a sea of whites. I had never seen that many Igbo people in my life at once, right? It's like your one black spot in. So that was a big one for me. Mind you, like, again, I grew up in the East. Covenant was as far out as I came out, right? That was my exposure from Ibotic lifestyle. And so now you take me from there straight up to what I did serve in Plateau State. And so now I'm in this whole, so it was all new. Um, and it's communication is easy. Like, okay, you can speak English, and we all speak English. But Wilmington is in the south. It's the south, it's the southern state. So the southern accent is stronger. It's not like the ones we see in the movies, where you can, if you enunciate clearly, you'll be fine. It's stronger. And so I took one of the I had a prerequisite course I had to take, an undergraduate course that I had to take as a prerequisite, because of the information systems part of it was an accounting. Never done anything accounting before. I could not understand a word the professor was saying. Older white guy. It was miserable. And then because it was an undergraduate class, all the people in the class were like kids, like freshmen that were just leaving high school. So imagine people that just looked really small, tiny, just carefree. So it was difficult to. I was trying to figure out, how to communicate with everybody, and it was just a struggle. So that was my big. Okay, this is crazy. Um, so I think that first semester was a shocker, and then I moved, and again too, I'd moved to. I thought I came from the airport, and I moved. I stayed on campus, so I moved into one of the apartment residents on campus, and I had roommates, right? Roommates, you think when you room together? No, everybody had their own room, but it was like an apartment. Um, that was also different. Again, there was another, African American young man that was with us, and then there was a white kid that was there as well. So it was three of us in the apartment, and there was always something going on. I wasn't used to just. I came from a Christian school. We didn't even have phone to to these kids are like literally living it up. Every day. So that was a shocker to me. But it was also good. I needed that exposure. So all of those culture shocks became my part of my transition story. Um, but I think those two, living in the apartment and then just, especially that accounting course, I still haven't forgotten that because one of the requirements for you at UNC as an international student, if you're doing your master's, um, you have two C's. The third C, you're out of the program. So they expect you to maintain a standard of excellence with their master's program. That was my only C. That first one because I was confused through the course. So I remember because it helped my overall my GP at the end. But after that semester I was good. I figured it out.
Great, great. So, would you say UNCW, the school, they were intentional about you succeeding, and how did they help you to, just position you for success in terms of
Yeah.
open you to network opportunities, support from lecturers, support from student bodies? Like, how did that work?
UNC is, and I feel like how we learn, like you mentioned, for how we learn in Nigeria is different from how we study in the US. Because back home or back in Nigeria, so back home, well, in Nigeria, we are very grade oriented. It's hit your 70, pass the exam, you're good. Here they are not. You're going to get your A halfway into the semester, right? It's not their focus. It's especially at the master's level. They are more intentional about you. They're preparing for the world of work, and so it's about presentations. It's about research. It's about collaboration, doing group activities. So um, that part was already. It was a game changer. It was different, but it changed my perspective to learning. And you realize you learned more, and you learned more applicable things because people are bringing workplace in the master's program. Then most of my classes were in the evenings because all of my colleagues were working. There was maybe just two of us who were full time, were international students. One was come from India, and then myself. So they built in like a component of we're not expecting you to be doing just this. And so even the way the training was, it was bring your work experience to the program. So all of that collaboration and research orientation drastically changed my experience and my approach to learning to this day. Um, but the support was incredible, right? Apart from the peer support you get, which they build all those groups intentionally for you to get your peer support. Um, the professors were available. That was another. Maybe I'll add that as my culture shock as well. You could walk into any professors. You can walk into any professor's office and tell them, "I need help. I'm struggling with this." I struggled to, even accept that. So at my first semester again, it was difficult for me because how dare you talk to professors? Like these guys are not just professors; they are super accomplished. I mean, they run. I had a biometrics professor. I'm still once in a while he still reaches out to me. He was pioneering a face aging program in biometrics. That was in 2010, before AI and all of these things. He was already doing this stuff. He had a grant from the FBI. So I came under his program, like he was my advisor. And this guy is so down to earth. He's willing to talk, willing to share. Like when I started my internship, at the hospital here, I was in IT for them. He actually came to have a sit down with my employers to draft up my capstone project. Like, how can we do something for you guys? That's the level of support that you get. So instead of me thinking of what will I do for project or capstone, they're like, okay, where are you working? What problems do they have? How can we create a solution that will now serve as a capstone? And so when I was presenting, I was not just graduating, but I was leaving a solution for my employers then. And this is the cool part of that. The testimony in all of that is I needed employment verification from that company from 10 years ago, just last couple of weeks. I could call the CEO, right, of a hospital, and they were so happy to hear from me and because of the impact I had, but it wouldn't be possible without my support, the support system I had at UNC Wilmington. I told about the struggle I had with, the accounting class, and Dr. Vedder, Ron Vedder was the department chair then. He called me into his office and we had a conversation. I told me, hey, you walk into these guys' offices and talk to them. let them know. They told me, tell them where you're struggling. It was, again, it was difficult for me to fathom because that's not our culture. That's not what we do. You find a way to make it work. And now I've done the rugged read, study. Um, and you're worried about, okay, I can't. The reason why I lose my opportunity here was not because I couldn't pass exam. So I literally
Yeah.
went to one of our algorithms professors' classes, offices, and I told him, "Sir, I'm struggling, but I can't afford to fail your class." He started laughing. And this man spent the next, he canceled all his meetings and spent the next hour just walking me
Mm.
through, okay, where are you now? He told, this is, you're going about it the wrong way. And I ended up having an A and A minus in that course, right? But it was, again, I could have easily failed that course if not for the support.
Yeah.
So they have tremendous. They're intentional about making sure students are supported. Every professor has 2 to 3 teaching assistants um, that are paid students who you can book office hours with and go talk to them like, hey, this is where I'm having a challenge. These are my questions. And because those guys are students of who just completed the program, they are very familiar with the course material and all of that, which is even something to mention because I don't think you mentioned it, but you get those work study opportunities
Mm-hmm.
at UNC Wilmington. In fact, for the scholarship you mentioned, I ended up getting a scholarship for working with university housing. And so what they did was they waived my out-of-state tuition. And my tuition, so I paid like an American, I paid like a resident of Wilmington, not an international student. Um, I didn't know all of these things going in, but as I got there again, there's so much information. There's a lot of people who are willing to help, and now they are really intentional about diversity and inclusion. And I think it's even better now because it's been a while since I left, but the impact of it is still great.
So would you say that they gave you the relevant skill for the present career that you have now? They were very intentional about you acquiring these skills, and it wasn't just you trying to figure out. You know how here it's kind of like you're doing computer science in Nigeria on an average, especially like let's say the federal schools.
Yeah.
And while you're studying, you still have to go and figure out how to learn certain programs and all of that. So would you say the school was very intentional about equipping you with the right skill sets for you to thrive in the work environment?
Absolutely. So, and I say this again, I went to a really good school in Nigeria. So, like Covenant that's as good as it gets in terms of, especially in computer science and program. So, they tried, but again, it's unfair to compare because it's their approach is different. Their approach is the approach to education is they are building you for the place of work, and so they're very intentional about especially at the master's program. I didn't do my undergrad here, but at the master's level, the objective is you're prepared. You're being prepared for work. um there and it's not what makes you thrive at work is not always the technical skills, right? It's not just always the technical stuff, it's the non-technical stuff, it's the collaboration, it's the teamwork, it's the research, it's presentation, it's shaking hands, and knowing how. So we had etiquette sessions, there was always like job fairs on campus where we had to network. We learned how to go talk to somebody, elevator pitches, talk, pitch yourself. They had a career center that, again, services were free. You could go in and they'll review your resume, they'll talk you through. You had an interview coming up, they'll prepare you. They had their own internal job board, where you could start applying to, start looking for jobs from. Especially internships for international students were able to do CPT after a year. So those opportunities, they give you all of that. So it's really career center training. You get the technical skills. That's a natural outcome, but it's beyond that for them. They are intentional about you.
So you just mentioned like the CPT and internship, and that really piqued my interest because for a lot of Nigerians, that's something they're interested in. They want to be
Yeah.
able to work and school and make sure that they are getting relevant work experience. And also, can you just like talk us through, especially like your experience with UNCW, what it was like from when you started getting your internship, how you went about getting your internship, job opportunities that UNCW opened you to, networking opportunities that they opened you to, probably an alumni community, or just like things like that. Because I know you just mentioned job first. So can you just specifically walk us through that so like people can have a better understanding of that? Yeah.
All right. So with one thing they do very well is they have this series of career fairs. They, because UNC is so big, so UNC is a big of it's not just UNC Wilmington. There's UNC Chapel Hill, UNC like University of North Carolina. They have major campuses across, like bigger than even Wilmington. Um, Bigger than literally any school I've been to. If you go to Chapel Hill, go to RDU, like their campuses are massive and specialize in different things. Because of how big they are, they have a strong alumni base. They have connections with local organizations, and so they're able to pull the biggest companies in the area where they are for these job fairs. Like every semester, and they coach you towards them. So most people are ready for. So there's what that does is students get internships. It's easy for you to break into the local workforce. So they have those resources, and even as our alumni now, they still have a strong alumni association. Um, and even the places, the ones that are not, when you're looking to maybe look outside, they have these connections to even beyond Wilmington, beyond North Carolina. So that's always helpful. Then you talk about your internal, your circle within your program. These guys are already working, a lot of them, and so especially for if you're doing your master's program, please network. Don't be, if they're going for happy hour, go with them. Like, it's all of those things. That's networking. You're making friends. They get to know you beyond class. um and a lot of them are curious. They want to learn about us and our culture, and especially if you're smart, they want to get to know, like, hey, this smart kid from Nigeria, what's it about? And they won't find out in class. It's when you hang out with them, it's when you go for their kids' birthdays, it's those things. And during those times, they like, you know what, Nambi, I know something, or I know someone, you know what, is that what you're interested in? Let me talk to my boss. They might have something for you. So I got so many interviews by like that, through my colleagues. The my internship was through a colleague who, he had just finished from that company. He was graduating, and so he referred me for the job. Told me that to go ahead and apply. And then when I applied, another colleague, I told you I was working in university housing. One of my peers in university housing was a frat brother to the CEO, the then CEO. So he heard I was going, so he called his frat brother. I was like an um, older man. He was an old man. He hired me and then he retired. Miracles are real. Um, but I went for this interview because I had become so highly recommended. I was referred by two people who they trusted. Um, my interview was more a conversation, and then the guy walks me in. Like, he told me, you're hired. He starts me to start. My interview was showing me around the building. Um, and so it was. I got that opportunity. Good pay. 20 hours a week, because that was the most you can do on that CPT. So I got my full time. And the beautiful thing was I could get school credits for my
Mm-hmm.
internship. I got
Yeah.
school credit for that internship. I was being paid, this is, if I was balling, it was $25 an hour. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was rich. Right. And that's how I was able to pay for the rest of my school. But that, and it was true again, my peer and then my colleague at work who gave me that hookup. So there's a lot of resources around. They try to be resourceful. They have an international students organization. In fact, there's an international house as part of the
Mm-hmm.
university residences. Even though because I worked with university house and I didn't live in international house, but they put all of the international, so specific guys from Europe, Germany, Denmark, they're all in one place. So it's a maze of cultures immersed in. I really wished I lived there. Um, but the International Students Organization, they are staffed. So you have people who are knowledgeable about OPT and CPT and H1 and your all of the different post-study opportunities available for you. And so I was meeting with, her name was Jennifer. I was meeting with her like once a month, to talk through my journey post UNC Wilmington, what my odds were when I couldn't, when it didn't look like I was going to get a job that would sponsor me post graduation. We started exploring options outside. Um, that was how I found my way to Atlanta, and then worked that I had people here and had a community here in Atlanta. But it was literally, I interviewed for jobs in Raleigh, and they put me on for many of the bigger, like all of this, not co-op, but this leadership rotation programs where they hire students from. Because I was doing so well in school, I was a preferred candidate for most of those jobs. Just, it was more companies then at the time they want to do sponsorship. especially in a smaller city like that. They were not very familiar with the legal ramifications of it. That
So
has
right.
changed quite a bit. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, thank you for mentioning that it has changed, because I'm very sure people will be like, obviously it's not the same and they don't have to really struggle. Okay, so what I wanted to ask is that what advice would you give? Because I really love us to start engaging people's questions and all, but
Yeah.
so this will just be the last question for me. Then we'll hop on to what people have been asking. What advice would you give Nigerians and other like Africans who are trying to or considering studying abroad, especially aiming to pursue a tech career? What advice would you give to them, and what would you have done differently um,
Um,
during your own time?
what would I have done differently is my advice would be one, just learn, like, asking questions would be your biggest asset. And people are willing to share, but if you don't ask questions, you wouldn't know.
Mm,
Um, I would have been more open about where I was. I would have asked for more help earlier. Um, people who are honestly willing to help. And there's a time when I was a Southern hospitality. They are very caring people in the South, so most of the they are very chill. It's not like New York or those where everybody's about their business. These guys want to ask you questions, they will hold you up and want you to talk about, and then it's fun, and it can be annoying when, okay, you're in a hurry, but they really
yeah,
care. um they really care. So that's the one thing I would start early. I really rushed my process. Thank God it worked out. It could have one bad decision would have could have messed all of that up. So for anybody thinking about it, I'll start. I'll start on time. Even start communicating well. That's why you guys are there, right? It's to help with that, because you can connect with them on LinkedIn, or connect with the alumni and message these guys to just start building relationships on time. Those are things I'll do differently. And then on the again, this party was cultural. I struggled with it because I was trying to transition. The world is global now. Between 2010 and now, it's a different world we live in.
yeah,
The we have to go get it. Eventually we all get to that point when we get here and realize we always wait till, okay, it's about to be. If I don't do something, I'm done. That's when we step up. We tend to be docile at the beginning, and I struggle with that. And I had my calls like, Nnamdi, they're going to kick you out. But I start looking for. I had to start going to every place that employed students, because you could work on campus. You could work on campus as a student, and I was struggling to go talk to anybody. And so that's one thing I'll do differently. Is from day one, as I land, I'm going to library, I'm going to gym, I'm going to just to talk to students, employees, and ask them who to talk to. And eventually that's how I got my job. So those are some things I'll do differently. But yeah.
all right, great, thank you so much. So we'll start taking questions now, but before we start, I just want to mention, so you spoke about the OPT and CPT just briefly. For people who still want like an in-depth understanding, we actually had a webinar like 2 weeks ago where we had somebody really explain that in detail. So like you can go on our YouTube and view it. So definitely after this, we'll be sending out an email and we would include the link for you to watch that as well, so that you just have a good understanding of the work hours that you would have based off of your F1 visa and all of that. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So the first question, I'll just take this. How much is the registration? We don't charge any money. So Zim is a free service. You don't pay us. We're here to help you. We don't charge you anything. Just register for free. The registration is free. The
Zim
consultation
is
is free.
free.
It's free. Guidance
That-
is free.
that's
So
What were you guys 10 years ago or 20 years ago? That's
yeah,
awesome.
so it's free. Is there an option for CGPA below 3.0? So for UNCW specifically, no. But like I said, still register with us. We have schools that take below 3.0. I think they take 2.5. So register with us and we can help you. Yeah. So if not UNCW, there's another school that is as great, as UNCW, also budget friendly, and we'll be able to help you. Okay. Also 3.0 GPA over 4 or 5. Over 4 is a 3.0 over 4. Um, so we don't have MSc in accounting. We just have finance and investment management. So if you're interested in that for January 2025, UNCW, yes. But I don't. About for the fall, that's August September. There might be one. So like I said, register and let a consultant speak with you and then give you all the options that you need. Most of these questions seem to be
Uh,
uh, for me. Please, I need more clarity on transcripts because I asked to evaluate my transcript course by course. Okay, so if you for UNCW, you don't need to evaluate your transcript while applying. After you have gotten admission and you resume school, then you will submit your evaluated transcript. If you, like I mentioned, if you however have an HND because it's not a BSc, HND is not BSc, you need to evaluate it to change it to become a BSc for the US standard, then apply with that evaluated transcript. But for UNCW, they don't need your evaluated. Once you have it, just submit it. Then when you resume school, you can then submit an evaluated transcript. What is a STEM course? Courses that fall under science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Those are STEM courses. So non-STEM courses are the arts, those arts and commercial courses, as we call it in Nigeria, the arts and the commercial courses. The STEM are mostly like the sciences, so microbiology, um, I guess biochemistry, bioinformatics, technology courses, data science, computer science and information system, engineering management is for engineering, maths and statistics courses are under the maths part. So those are like STEM courses. Yeah, but business analytics is a STEM course.
yeah. Can I say something to STEM courses as
Please.
well? And I know people, you have your, you might have your goals and things you want to pursue, but if you're coming abroad, I highly recommend staying in STEM. Because eventually when you graduate with F1, you're going to need most STEM courses get after the first year of OPT, you get an additional extension for another
Yeah.
18 months. You don't get that for the other fields. So
Yeah.
STEM, because of demand, the US wants they want talent that complements what they lack, and STEM is an area of deficiency. Your the other areas there they have people. So yes, will you do well? It's for an international student. You want to go where the playing field, you have options, and then when you get in and do your thing, when you're doing well, you can pursue your any career you like once you're established. Um, but to break in, I will always encourage and recommend go for STEM.
Okay. So we can give a specific amount for the school fees price range because different courses have different prices. So like I said, speak with the consultants who have better knowledge, but they are well informed. They can tell you how much this costs and how much that costs. So just register with us. So you have the opportunity to speak with the person and it's free. The person is going to call you. You're not even going to call the person, they will call you and talk as much as possible. So please take advantage of the of the opportunity and register with us. Okay, so Temitope is asking this, which is directed to you. What is the school environment like? The probability of securing job on campus as an international student?
They Your first job is going to be you're likely going to work on campus. The probability is high. You just need to talk to people. There's opportunities. They've made it to where people can leave. You can literally do everything within the campus there. There's job opportunities. So there's library. Again, I worked in university and residence life. Um, there's ton of I found I even interviewed for one job in marketing because of my master's program had a marketing component to it. So they've built it to where you can work on campus. So when you're starting on F1, it's going to be on campus. You can work before you're eligible for CPT. Probability is high. You just have to be aggressive in a sense. You have to be out there, and then at least for that first semester, you have to have really good grades. Because they want to make sure you've built some. The job will make you start failing because what will end up happening is you have to leave the job and then now focus on your academics. So those are things. But yeah, the environment is nice. It's friendly. It's honestly again, they are very good people in Wilmington. It's what they have. They don't have stress. They have the beach. It's a beach city. everybody wants to go to the beach and everybody wants to chill. So it's UNC. There's not. It's not a crazy. It's not New York or any of those places. It's very chill. You're not going to get lost in craziness. Yes, there's the student life, but it's undergrad students and it's not even that downtown 2 a.m. everything shuts down. So even if you're apt to party, there's not too many opportunities to go out in Wilmington. So it's a good place to be to start. It helped me with also just figuring out how to communicate with diverse cultures, not just I didn't just go in and come to Atlanta where there's many Nigerians. I feel like a lot of people get capped. They can't relate to outside our culture because of that. They've been here and they can't connect to other cultures. Wilmington helped me build that muscle. So it's a great program. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much. For Elias, no, you don't need a West credential. Just submit your BSc. For you want to do business analytics, then you're already in the sciences background. So definitely, if you studied microbiology, definitely took some statistic courses and some math courses, and definitely they cover, I think, some of the basics you do in business analytics. So I don't think you don't need to do a West evaluation. Please, your transcript is enough. Thank you. So someone's asking, is this cybersecurity? Not for UNCW, but we do have another school that offers cybersecurity. It's called Indiana Tech. Fantastic school. It's also affordable, pretty much almost like 50% less than most schools in the university. I think that's something you should really check out. I encourage you to check it out. So please register. I encourage you to check that one out and just know the perks and everything that is available for you and that you can take advantage of. Someone was asking, sorry, I saw the question. The person was asking if you have an idea the population of Nigerians there. I guess they don't want to be alone. They want to make sure there are people they can talk about the interest with.
Now it's growing. So like I said, when I first started, it wasn't very diverse, but it became very intentional. So like in fact, I worked with a couple of Nigerians on their way in because what they did, they connected me to every Nigerian that was applying. So both of them, one of them still lives in the DC area, and so now I feel like they've really tried to recruit. That's why this partnership exists. They're very intentional now about trying to bring in more uh, diversity. The city itself is predominantly white, but the school is intentionally diverse. I worked in housing and res life, and they really worked and trained to encourage diversity and all of those things. So it's a very it's a good place in terms of even if you don't see you, of course, it's not going to be a lot, but it will be enough. You're going to find community. I promise you, you'll find community there.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nnamdi. I guess most of the other questions I can see here, they are questions I can address. So I'm just going to let you step down and then I'll address this question. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and speaking with our community. So good for yeah. All right, guys. So I'll just answer the other questions that I can see that are related to Zim services. And if I don't address your questions, please register with us. Like our consultants are here to help you. Like I mentioned, our service is free of charge. So if we ask a question, if we don't address your question here, just register with us and ask them. Or if you feel like you want to explain yourself further before you, even after you've registered, send an email to info@zim.co. So somebody will put it in the chat, info@zim.co. So you can just send your explanation of whatever it is you want today, and somebody will definitely reply you. But please register with us. Most of what you're asking, we have people who are ready to walk you through the requirements, the processes, all of it. So yes, please register with us. This is the last question that I'll be taking for today. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of you have been asking a lot of questions, but this is the last question I can afford to take because we promised we'll just use an hour and then our hour is almost up. Great session here. You guys are doing great. I have more than 16 years experience in IT and financial institution, more than with a financial institution, more than 5 accepted MBA. What are my chances of securing admission in cybersecurity or data science? So from what I can see, you have great experience, which is what they would be looking for. You already probably have the background knowledge fundamental knowledge that is needed for cybersecurity and data science, I don't see you having any issues. So please, like I said, register with us and speak to your consultant. Let them know that these are your credentials and you're qualified. Because for UNCW data science, I know that it has specific experience that they want you to have in terms of some data. I think data annotation. I'm not really sure, so I can't really speak to it right now. But like I said, register with us. The people that are qualified to speak to it will speak to you about it and walk you through every single thing. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for taking our time to join us today. Like I said, please register with us. We want to help you. We want to help you. And once you register with us, we would have the conversation with you. For those who want to know more about the loan as well, that's Empower loan of getting a loan for your for schooling out of in the US. Please register with us. The consultants will speak to you about the loan, everything that you need to know. If you need to take a full loan, about the school fees payment, if like all of it, everything that is on your mind. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye, guys.